There we go. On using talk to scaffolding referential questions for English language learners by McNeil. I was interested in this article because it looked at referential questions and how a teacher was able to scaffold that for English language learners. And I thought that referential questions could be used across all the content areas, so it'd be good to look at that. And referential questions are questions that the teacher doesn't know the answer to. And so they prompt the students to give their own opinions, experience, or thoughts about the subject. And they elicit longer and more complex answers than other types of questions. They're also harder for English language learners to answer. So oftentimes there's a need for scaffolding when you ask this kind of question. So I thought this was interesting because they studied one teacher, her name is Amy, over 5 days, and they looked at how often she scaffolded her referential questions. And as you can see, she moved on to the next student quite a bit and sometimes answer the questions herself. And it wasn't a part of the study, but they alluded to the fact that it referential questions and helping scaffolding take a lot longer. So for time restraints, maybe this teacher didn't scaffold all the questions. So this is an example of dialogue, and the teacher's Amy, obviously. And so she asked an open-ended question: why do you think the Stamp Act is important? And she didn't get a response from the students, so it goes through and shows how she assists the students. And one of the things they say is reduction in the degrees of freedom. So the teacher narrows it down enough so that the student is able to answer it. So she gets more specific in her questioning, and that helps the student be able to respond. And I realized after reading this research, I knew that referential questions are important, but it shows in the dialogue, sorry, how important it is for English, or how hard it is for English language learners to be able to respond to these questions sometimes. So it was interesting how she was able to scaffold that for the students. And it shows that, also it takes a lot of time to do this. So, sometimes teachers avoid it because of the time factor. And this is a really small study. So I wonder how other teachers would do the same thing, and also how they would measure whether scaffolding is really helping the students or not. Thank you.